Hello and welcome back to another video. So this time we're going to be taking a look at Azeroth choppers. Week 6 has arrived and they have finally finished. Well, they finished the choppers. Apparently there's another episode coming, but I'm guessing that's just to cover the winner, or I don't know, take him for a ride or something. Still, we now know what the finished models look like, and in this video I'm going to tell you what I think, because apparently people give a shit about that, which continually surprises me. So, first of all, I'm an Alliance player, so let's talk about the Alliance chopper. Overall, I think it's really good, but I actually prefer the Horde one. Essentially. So, right, let's start off with the very front of the bike. I think the shield looks cool. I mostly like the fenders. In the show they had a bit of, fake drama, controversy about, oh, should we have fenders or not? I just think there's a lack of bulk. Two swords are great, but the lack of bulk just doesn't feel very Alliance-y. And actually, just as a whole, the bike doesn't feel like it has much bulk, and that was a conscious decision that they made when designing it. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the Alliance is quite bulky. Look at Varian Rin's armor, bulky as hell. Look at any Alliance armor, it's bulky. We actually wear more armor than the Horde. Okay, the Horde are more about their big spikes, but the Alliance is chunky. It's maybe not as spiky, but it's chunky, and I feel like we sort of missed out on the chunkiness. Now, the shield itself, I think, is really cool in terms of its design, but once again, it's not particularly chunky. It could have been a bit thicker, I think. And there's a real weak spot in between the shield and the front treads. Not 100% too keen in that, but whatever. And moving on to the rest of the bike, I do like the kind of not scaled armor, the sort of layers of armor. I think that really does look cool. And overall, the rear of the bike is looking pretty great. I don't know, the front doesn't seem to carry the forward motion. I think the best shot of this is really the one from the back, though it looks kind of insectoid from the rear. Now, this was actually something they brought up in the show as, the Alliance designers in Blizzard just saying, yeah, this is maybe looking a little bit too bug-like. I think it's looking a little bit too bug-like, actually. Yeah, it's sleek, but too bug-like, and once again, the Alliance is about being chunky, not about being like a bug. Okay, so when we take a bit of a closer look at some things, I think the detailing is often just really fantastic. Yeah, all the little bolts and brass strips, and I think there's a little goblin kind of cogwheel in there as well that's totally not got a Pokeball in the middle, but yeah, overall it's looking really nice. I like the seat as well. The seat's got this is it embroidered? Whatever, it's got designed leather on it, and I think that does look pretty damn good. And overall, it's a really nice bike, yeah, but I just think it's nowhere near as good as the Horde one. And it gets to the point where it's just like, screw faction pride, I want the Horde one. So let's talk about the Horde one. First of all, we have a front shot of it, and I think the tire at the front actually is very good. And one area where the Alliance one maybe falls down a little bit is, I just feel like the tread is out of place with the two swords. I'm not too keen on that whole thing, but I think that this giant big fuck-off tire with two big tusks looks great. Now, one unfortunate thing about the tusks is that they're made of wood. Now, of course, I'd never say make them out of ivory, but they could make it out of that, fake ivory, the plastic stuff. I think that may have looked a little bit better if they had got that, then done just some sort of texturing to it, and then a little bit of a bone wash. A wash, by the way, I don't know if this is the correct painting terminology, but it's when they get a paint that's not very strong and this kind of wash a thing in it. And I used to paint 40k models ages ago, and no, you can't see them, but I think some of them were pretty decent. Anyway, most of them are lost to the histories of time, though. Anyway, still, I really like that front. And the Horde logo, Ignacia, whatever, really nice. I like how it's made out of wood, keeps that sort of primal feel going on with the Horde, and the mixture of different materials is definitely appreciated in this. I know they didn't use a bone effect, well, I mean they did with the wood, but still, there's lots of different materials going on there, and I think that does communicate the Horde very well. And then, looking at the other shots of the bike, I think the close-ups are all fantastic, and you really do get to see the detailing in full there with the metal. I think, honestly, the tank, I think the gas tank, or, sorry, petrol fuel tank, because I'm not American, I think the fuel tank looks really great on this especially, and then, of course, the rear of the bike is just insane. Look at that damn thing with its, two big shoulder plates with forward-facing spikes. The thing just looks like a tank, and it's really wide at the back as well, and that's great. That really is great, where the Alliance one is just sort of this little sliver of bike. This is a giant big thing which is it's just gonna roll over you and destroy your day. I think that looks so much better. And then of course the two giant big exhaust pipes, which are also looking fantastic. So overall, for me anyway, the winner is the Horde bike. So in terms of the actual competition and voting, well, they said on the website that the bike that is voted in will be given to all players for free. Now, does that mean that us Alliance players are going to get a Horde bike in our mail? I doubt it. I think it's probably just for free to all players, assuming you're playing the right faction. Though, of course, I don't think we'll be getting an Alliance bike in our mail, because I think the Horde one might just win. And also, I feel like faction pride, as stupid of a concept that kind of is a little bit more prevalent with the Horde. Now, I can't find it right now as I look around on my browser, but I remember seeing a MMO Champion poll. They seem to have maybe accidentally gotten rid of that in their most recent post here, but on that MMO Champion poll, about 35% of players were voting for Alliance, and the rest were voting for Horde, and I think that's kind of indicative of what I feel personally. I think, you know, the Alliance bike it's getting a sort of a 6 or 7 out of 10, whereas the Horde's sitting there on a solid 9, you know, it's just that bit better. So yeah, that's my opinions on the bike. Now, I should probably also mention, I suppose, about me and bikes, because World of Warcraft people, we're maybe not known for our love of bikes. Well, I kind of like bikes, and not as much as my dad, though. He collects them. He's got, I think, 12. He really likes classic bikes. He's got, I think, maybe the John Player Norton would be the most rare one, but anyway, he's got that, a few Laverdas, 2 Laverdas, not a few, Moto Guzzi, and a few other things. Anyway, so through him, I think I've got a little bit more of an appreciation of bikes, though of course this sort of American-style chopper is very different to most of the stuff that he has, and yeah, I mean, I do appreciate a really nice-looking bike, and I think the Alliance one, it's just not as good for me as the Horde. Now then, I have one job for you, and it's a comment-related job. Let me know what you think about the bike in the comments. Actually, no, not what you think, although you can do that, but a simple Alliance or Horde. I want to know exactly what you would vote for. If this video gets enough comments to make your vote statistically significant, then I'll mention it in a further video. Maybe in the next WoW Daily I'll go back to this poll, but of course, just to ensure that, you know, obviously that there's enough, you know, of a response to actually make it worthwhile, do comment, because we want to see what everyone thinks. Anyway, that's it for the video. Pretty cool stuff. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to the channel for all the latest Warlords of Draenor information.